GameMasters here, and today we're going to talk about shrooms that we can find in the Witchlight. First up is an NPC by the name of Jingle Jangle. She is a goblin that is chaotic good and usually refers to herself in the third person. She has a weapon that is a flail of locks. That is a stick with locks on the end of it that she'll use to attack with. And she is covered in keys. But one of the things that she enjoys doing is digging for truffles. And that is something that you can find in the Hither. So if you happen to find a bag of truffles, for example, you could probably woo her into giving away some key secret information. Another form of shrooms that can be found, this time in the Thither, are going to be fairy rings. And there's two types of fairy rings. There's the corrupted fairy ring and an uncorrupted fairy ring. When running across an uncorrupted fairy ring, it's possible that you could run across a swarm of campestries, and you can actually use the uncorrupted fairy ring as a means of fey crossing. Basically, you would go from one uncorrupted fairy ring and basically teleport to another uncorrupted fairy ring. And then, of course, you have the corrupted fairy rings. Within, you'll find regular toadstools that have been given the ability through an awaken spell to speak common. They kind of mock the players. They're a bit rude, and they'll typically move to a point where trying to do a fey crossing within a corrupted fairy ring, they get in your way, making that move impossible. Although I suppose if you killed all of them, you could make it actually work. There are 5 additional shrooms that can be found. There is the butterfly saddle. This is a bright yellow toadstool. It's properly sized for a pixie or a sprite to sit on, and they taste like butter and can actually be used as a substitute for butter in various recipes. There's the elder cap, and eating one of these white and gray mushrooms causes the eater to look much older for about 1 hour. This magical effect is an illusion, and it can be ended with a dispel magic spell. There's the executioner's hood. These are mushrooms that have a black hood-shaped cap, and any creature that eats one must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or fall into a cataleptic state that is indistinguishable from death. This magic effect is identical to that of the Feign Death spell, including its duration. There is the Hummingbrella. This is a very colorful mushroom with a very frilly parasol-shaped cap that drips sweet nectar and attracts hummingbirds. Eating one has the same effect as drinking an antitoxin. And then there is the Prickle Noggin. Each of these mushrooms has short, prickly spines growing out of its red cap. Hats are usually made from these, and they're very popular in the Fey courts and are considered to be quite fashionable. Most tiny Fey would be grateful to receive one as a gift. And of course, we have the campestries. I like these guys. For some reason, I would love to have them as a player race. But they are very happy-go-lucky mushrooms. They have very few cares, don't worry much about anything. They love to sing, and they love to dance. If they hear a song enough times, they're going to remember it for life. These guys are not enemies. They're not going to go after you to hurt you. They're very curious. They're not smart enough to answer complex questions, but they can answer simple questions. And they like to eat salt. It is very possible that there's other mushrooms in this book. There is so much content. This sucker is rich with content. And if you've run across any that I have failed to mention, let me know about them in the comments below. I like the mushrooms. I think it adds a really interesting element to the Fae. Until next time, avoid eating any crazy shrooms that you can't identify, least your character go on a wild and crazy trip. But then again, you might run into the Jabberwock, just like Alice did when she ate her mushroom. Game on.